I'm Caitriona Perry in Washington, and this is BBC World News America. Donald Trump says his French and British counterparts have done nothing to end the Ukraine war ahead of their visits to Washington. Hamas says it has now handed over the body of the hostage Shiri Bibas to the Red Cross to be returned to Israel. Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, appears in court in New York City. Hello, you're very welcome. President Donald Trump says the French President Emmanuel Macron and the UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer haven't done anything to end the war in Ukraine. He was making those remarks ahead of visits from both leaders planned to the White House next week. Well, Hamas officials tell the BBC that the group has now handed over to the Red Cross a body said to be that of Israeli hostage Shiri Bibas. Ms. Bibas' body was due to be released on Thursday as part of the ceasefire deal, but after forensic tests, Israeli authorities said the remains were not that of Mrs. Bibas, but an unidentified Gazan woman. The bodies of Shiri Bibas' two sons, 4-year-old Ariel and 10-month-old Kfir, were released on Thursday. The IDF has accused the captors of murdering them with their bare hands, then committing horrific acts to cover it up. Well, our Middle East correspondent Mark Lone sent this report. Now, the man accused of killing United Healthcare's chief executive, Brian Thompson, on a busy Manhattan street appeared at a New York City courthouse on Friday afternoon for a status hearing. The 26-year-old arrived shackled, wearing a bulletproof vest, while security guards surrounded him, as you can see there. Mr. Mangione faces state murder and terrorism charges, and if convicted, he could face life in prison without parole. His case has sparked a frenzy of criticism and support. Public officials have condemned the killing that launched a 5-day manhunt, while supporters organised a rally outside and inside the courtroom championing Mr. Mangione's message. Well, our correspondent Neda Tawfiq has been keeping a close eye on all of this, and she joins us now from New York. Neda, talk to us about what happened in court today. Okay, Neda Tawfiq in New York, thank you very much for that. Now, Apple is removing its highest level of data security for customers in the UK. The unprecedented move is in response to a demand from the British government for access to users' data. Apple says it will no longer offer an encryption tool. That allows only account holders to view items such as photos or documents stored online. The tech giant had previously warned that hackers could take advantage of it if governments insisted on access to data, known as creating a backdoor, which instead of the highest level of security through end-to-end encryption. The British government hasn't commented. One security expert called it an act of self-harm. Let's have a look now at some other important news from around the world. The man who stabbed British Indian author Salman Rushdie in the eye was found guilty of attempted murder by a New York jury on Friday. Hadi Matar attacked Mr. Rushdie as he was talking on the stage in New York in 2022. Mr. Rushdie has been partially blind ever since. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass dismissed the city's fire department chief on Friday over her handling of January's Palisades fires. It comes after weeks of tensions between the two officials. The chief criticised the mayor when the fires first began, saying she'd failed the city. Dozens of people were killed and hundreds of homes were destroyed. Ronnie Villanueva, a retired LA Fire Chief Deputy of Emergency Operations, has been appointed as the interim fire chief. Now, before we go, an update on the Pope's health. One of the doctors treating Pope Francis for pneumonia says he's feeling slightly better, but still is not out of danger and would likely stay in hospital at least all of next week. Professor Sergio Alfieri said the 88-year-old pontiff's abdomen was good and his heart was very strong. Now, remember, you can keep up to date on the Pope's status and plenty more besides on our website, bbc.com/news, and you can see what we're working on at any time by checking us out on your favourite social media platform as well. Well, that's it for World News America for today. I'm Caitriona Perry. Thanks so much for watching, and do take care. Bye-bye.
And if you want to carry on watching Newsnight, please turn over to BBC Two or watch on iPlayer.
Do stay with us here on BBC News for all the latest headlines in the US and around the world from the team here in Washington. I'm Caitriona Perry in Washington, and this is BBC World News America. President Donald Trump says his French and British counterparts have done nothing to end the Ukraine war ahead of their visits to Washington. Hamas says it has now handed over the body of the hostage Shiri Bibas to the Red Cross to be returned to Israel. Luigi Mangione, the 26-year-old accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, appears in court in New York City. Hello and welcome to World News America. President Donald Trump says French President Emmanuel Macron and the UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer haven't done anything to end the war in Ukraine. He was speaking ahead of visits from both leaders to the White House next week. The International Committee of the Red Cross has confirmed that it has transferred more human remains from Gaza to Israeli representatives. It comes shortly after Hamas claimed it had handed over the body of Israeli hostage Shiri Bibas. Mrs. Bibas's body was due to be released on Thursday as part of the ceasefire and hostage release deal. But after forensic tests, Israeli authorities said the remains were not those of Mrs. Bibas, but an unidentified Gazan woman. The bodies of Shiri Bibas's two sons, 4-year-old Ariel and 10-month-old Kafir, were released on Thursday. The IDF accused their captors of murdering the boys with their bare hands, then committing horrific acts to cover it up. Paul Adams has more now from Tel Aviv. Hamas has also confirmed the names of the 6 hostages that it will release on Saturday. They are from top left: Elia Cohen, Omer Shem Tov, Tal Shoham, Omer Wenkert, Hisham Al-Sayed and Avera Mengistu. Hisham Al-Sayed and Avera Mengistu entered Gaza a decade ago and have been held there since. Hamas says Israel will release 602 prisoners in exchange. Well, for more on the latest developments in the Middle East, I've been speaking to retired US diplomat and former US ambassador to Yemen, Gerald Feierstein. Well, in Germany, the general election campaign is into its final stretch. Voting takes place on Sunday. Germany is holding a snap election, which was triggered by the collapse of Chancellor Olaf Scholz's 3-party coalition. Polls suggest the Conservative Christian Democrats, led by Friedrich Merz, are on course to be the largest party. Now, he's ruled out working with the hard right, AfD, and its leader, Alice Weidel. But the party, which is hardline on migration and keen to make peace with Russia, is expected to make significant gains. Now, the man who stabbed the novelist Sir Salman Rushdie, leaving him blind in his right eye, has been found guilty of attempted murder. Hadi Matar attacked the writer as he was on stage talking in New York in 2022. Namia Iqbal reports. Well, that's it for World News America for today. I'm Caitriona Perry. Thanks for watching. Do stay tuned with us, though, as coming up in just a few moments, I'll be back with the latest edition of The President's Path, where we take a closer look at President Donald Trump's week, what it means for America and the world. Stay tuned for that. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hello there. We ended the week with a band of rain pushing